Welcome back to Wrap Shop Garage. I've had a few questions on my channel and Cisco's channel, people inquiring about my eclectic car collection. And I decided I'm going to do a spotlight on each car. I'm going to try and do one video per week. It might be spaced out one video per every couple weeks, but I'm going to go through each car and tell you guys what it means to me, how long I've had it, and everything about the car, why I bought it, why I have it, why I still have it. So we're going to start with probably the newest car I have and the most boring one out of the bunch. I do have a thing for 90s cars, and this does not fit within that. But we're going to get this thing uncovered, moved over here so we can walk around it, take a look at it. And we are starting with the 2005 Porsche 911. It's the 997.1 first generation. And we'll go through it here piece by piece. So I'm going to get it uncovered and get it moved over here. Okay, so why this particular 997.1 911? It is considered the most raw in modern Porsches as far as the feel, the analog feel of the car for the water-cooled generation, that is. I was not a fan of the generation before this, the 996. Of course, everybody comments on the headlights, and I also did not like the fried egg headlights. So when they came out with I thought these are some of the most beautiful cars that Porsche's ever made. When I was growing up, I had a picture of a Guards Red 85 Porsche 911 on my wall, and I always told myself that someday I would get one of those. But these modern water-cooled Porsches are just, they're phenomenal. So I did want a cabriolet. I wanted a convertible. I originally started looking at the 997.2, the second generation, which they upgraded quite a bit from this car too. It's still the same car, but motor-wise, this one is an S, so it has a 3.8. They switched the Gen 2 to a direct injection 3.8, and it gives you more power right out of the get-go, but you really can't modify too much on that motor compared to this regular injected 3.8. So that is one of the main reasons why I wanted this. And this 2005 is the first year of this generation, so I think that these will be collectible. They do come with their fair share of issues, as I'm learning. I knew about, there's some I'm still learning about. But why do I care about making more power out of the 3.8? Well, this car I bought knowing that it does need a motor. So I want to, it still runs, it's fine, but it smokes and it's got bore score. Bore score is a real issue with these cars. The lining they used in the cylinders gives way. And again, I bought this car knowing that. I paid what I paid, knowing that it needs a very expensive rebuild. But at that time, I'm going to be able to make this, depending on which company I use, either a 4.0 or a 4.1, which will be awesome. So the bore score thing, so everybody, if you talk about buying a 997 Porsche, a first generation, everybody's going to say IMS bearing and bore score. So the IMS bearing is such a small failure rate, and this car has 120,000 miles on it now, so if the IMS bearing was going to fail, it would have failed a long time ago. And again, the bore score, when I looked at the very first picture of this car, I knew that it had bore score just by how much soot was on the driver's side tailpipe, because it turns black, it smokes, the score. So again, I bought this car for what I paid, knowing that I'm going to be putting a very expensive motor rebuild into it, but I do want to drive it this summer, and hopefully it makes it, and then next winter is when I'm planning on pulling the motor and having it built. So why did I buy this car? This particular car. It's the exact spec I wanted. So this car has a Tiptronic, the automatic. I have enough manual cars that I didn't need another manual car. When I drive this car, I want to relax, I want to enjoy it, beat on it, and I don't need to worry about shifting. I want to be able to drink my coffee and still drive this car. So it has a Tiptronic. It has the Sport Chrono package, which was a necessity for me, and it's got the Bose. and black full leather with the sport seats, and it is triple black. Black leather, I think it's actually basalt black metallic, black leather, and black top. This is the exact spec car that I wanted. So that is why this particular car is in my garage. So the things that I need to do with it, I do plan on keeping this car for a while, actually quite a while. So it needs a little bit of TLC, little odds and ends here and there. Aside from the obvious, the motor. Somebody at some point repainted the bumper, I'm assuming from stone chips. This car was a California car for half of its life, and then ended up in Pennsylvania, which is where I bought it. So I think out there they probably pulled the bumper, repainted it for stone chips. There's no damage to the car anywhere. I've looked all around it, so I'm assuming that's what it was. So this car has paint protection film on the fenders, the mirrors, and the hood. So the bumper, I'm going to have a friend of mine respray that, and then I'll put paint protection film back on the bumper. One of the wheels, I think this one here, at least one of them, maybe two of them, are starting to corrode a little bit from being in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to have either this one or all four wheels re-chromed, or I might find another set of wheels. Although I do really like these lobster claw wheels. I like the look of them. So that, after the motor's rebuilt, I need to just kind of run through all the mechanics on the car, suspension-wise, make sure that's all good. I haven't even put this thing up on the lift yet. So make sure that's dialed in. And I haven't even cleaned this car since I bought it. I've wiped the dust off of it, but I have not washed it. I have not cleaned it. I have not looked under it. I've done a little bit of work to the electrical system on it. I put a starter in it, just little stuff like that. But again, I do plan on keeping this thing, so I want to make sure that it's good. So I will go through all the suspension, the brakes, make sure everything is dialed in. These things also have coolant pipe leaks up front, so I'll check that out, make sure that's good, because if the motor's out, it's a good time to do all the coolant pipes. So that's the story on this 2005 Porsche. I don't consider myself a Porsche guy, quote unquote, but it's something that I've always wanted since I was a kid, and you don't know what tomorrow holds. So if you can afford it, do it. So that's it on this car. Next week, I think we're going to jump on probably the black SHO, because that's the next available car. And after that, we'll kind of just work our way through here. And we have the 62 Ols, the white SHO, my dad's Harley, the Pace truck, my wife's Mustang, and then we'll work into the back room and see what's back there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more car videos, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.